Since consciousness forms matter and not the other way around, then thought exists before the brain and after it. A child can think coherently before he learns vocabulary, but he cannot impress the physical universe in its terms. So, this inner knowledge has always been available, but it is to become physically manifest, literally made flesh. The speakers were the first to impress this inner knowledge upon the physical system to make it physically known. Sometimes, only one or two speakers were alive in several centuries. Sometimes, there were many. They looked around them and knew that the world sprang from their interior reality. They told others. They knew that the seemingly solid natural objects about them were composed of many minute consciousness. They realized that from their own creativity, they formed idea into matter, and that the stuff of matter was itself conscious and alive. They were intimately familiar with the natural rapport existing between themselves and their environment, therefore, and knew that they could alter their environment through their own acts. Generally speaking, once a speaker, always a speaker, in your terms. In some incarnations, the abilities might be used so powerfully that all other aspects of the personality remained in the background. At other times, the capacities might be timidly used. The speakers possess an extraordinary vividness of feeling and thought projection. They can impress others with greater import through their communications. They can move from inner to outer reality with easy ability. They know instinctively how to use symbolism. They are highly creative on the unconscious level, constantly forming psychic frameworks beneath normal consciousness that can be used both by themselves and others in dream and trance states. They often appear to others in dream condition, and they help dreamers in the manipulation of inner reality. They form images with which the dreamers can relate. Images that can be used as bridges and then as gateways into kinds of consciousness more separated from your own. The symbolism of the gods, the idea of the gods on Olympus, for example, the crossing over point at the river Styx. That kind of phenomenon was originated by the speakers. The symbolisms and frameworks of religion, therefore, had to exist not only in the physical world, but also in the unconscious one. Outside of your own framework, houses as such or dwellings as such are not needed. And yet, in trance encounters or dream encounters with other realities, such structures are frequently seen. They are transformations of data into your terms that will be meaningful to you. After death, for example, an individual may continue to create these. Masses of individuals may, until they realize that the frameworks are no longer necessary. The speakers were not confined in their activities, therefore, to waking consciousness. In all periods of your time, they went about their duties both in the waking and sleep state. Much of the most pertinent information, in fact, was memorized by trainees during the dream condition and passed on in the same manner. These unwritten manuscripts, therefore, were also illustrated, so to speak, by dream journeys or field trips into other kinds of reality. Such training still goes on. The particular psychic or story framework may vary. For example, Conventional images of the Christian God and the saints may be utilized by the speakers with all of this highly vivid. The dreamer may find himself then in a magnificent harem or in a brilliantly illuminated field or sky. Some speakers confine their ability to the dream state and, waking, are largely unconscious of their own abilities or experience. Now, it is meaningless to call such dreams or dream places hallucinations, for they are representations of definite objective realities that you cannot perceive as yet in their own guise. The Egyptian religion was largely based upon the work of the speakers, and great care was given to their training. The outward manifestations given to the masses of the people became so distorted, however, that the original unity of the religion finally decayed. However, efforts were being made then to map inner reality in ways that have not been attempted since. It is true that in the dream state and in some other levels of existence close to your own, there is a strong individual play in the creation of images and a magnificent use of symbolism. But all of this takes place again in an objective, definite environment. An environment whose characteristics make such phenomena possible, a field of activity then with its own rules. Now, the speakers are familiar with those rules and often serve as guides. They have at times worked within organizations as in Egypt, where they worked through the temples and became involved with the power structures. As a rule, however, they are far more solitary. Because of the true simultaneous nature of time, they are, of course, speaking to all of your ages at once through various manifestations. On occasion, they also serve as mediators, introducing to each other two incarnations of one personality. For example, end of part 4 of chapter 17, Seth speaks, the eternal validity of the soul. Let's chit-chat about it. I think here Seth is conveying the idea that consciousness precedes and shapes physical matter, rather than the other way around. Another important note is that he suggests that even before learning language, individuals possess coherent thoughts that exist independently of the brain. This inner knowledge has always been available, but is now becoming physically manifest. The speakers, a group of individuals, were the first to make this inner knowledge physically known and understood. They recognized the connection between their creative thoughts and the material world, understanding their ability to influence their environment through their actions. Speakers possess unique qualities such as the ability to project thoughts, use symbolism effectively, and create psychic frameworks that can be used in dream and trance states. They play a significant role in the development of religious symbolism and frameworks. Their activities extend into both waking and dream states, with much of their knowledge transmitted through dreams. Despite variations in their psychic or story frameworks, they work to map inner reality and guide others through it. Now, while their teachings may have influenced ancient religions like Egyptian mythology, the original unity of these religions decayed over time. The speakers work within the rules of the objective environment they operate in, and often serve as solitary guides or mediators between different incarnations of the same personality. due to the simultaneous nature of time. If you've enjoyed this reading, please consider giving it a like, share with a friend, and subscribe for more. What did you think about this passage? Please leave it in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Until the next time, thank you.